What's up, sports bettors? France versus Argentina, that's the World Cup final, and you can see it's expected to be a very, very close game. France is a slight favorite. You can see on BetRivers Sportsbook, actually, they're giving you the same odds, the same money line odds for both France and Argentina. So both teams are roughly 50-50 to win the World Cup, so pretty crazy. And as a sharp bettor, of course, we want to hunt around, we want to look for value. You know, if you want to bet on France, you should be getting them plus 185 on Casumo, BetRivers, right? One of the sports books offering plus 185. If you want to bet on Argentina, grab them plus 194, right? That's a lot better on S markets. And if you want to bet the draw, get it plus 210. So should be a very competitive game. You can see the total is juiced towards the under 2.5, so it should be a relatively low scoring game as well. Now, for Morocco versus Croatia, Morocco is the underdog. Best offered at plus 221 on S markets. Best line you can get on Croatia's plus 140 on Bet99. So two games, both should be relatively competitive, and you may be wondering, oh, do you have a money line bet? Are you leaning Argentina? And that's not how I bet, right? The way I bet is I look through the market. I treat every sportsbook as an independent data point of where the line should be set, and I look for inefficiencies, right? Because every sportsbook, they set lines independently. Like you can see here, it's a little weird, but PointsBet Iowa is giving you plus 180 on Argentina. Every other state that PointsBet is legal, they're giving you plus 175. So all of these sportsbooks are like independent little markets, right? It's like if we had, 100 prices for the price of Bitcoin. You're treating every sportsbook as an independent data point. This sportsbook is telling you, hey, Argentina should be plus 185. Here's another sportsbook telling you, yo, Argentina should be plus 185. S Markets is saying, hey, Argentina should be plus 194. So we use all this data, right? All of these real-time odds, real-time data, which encompasses all information available in the market. If Messi is injured, that will be reflected in the odds within less than a minute. It's just like the stock market, right? If a CEO dies, the price of that stock may go down. It's reflected in the market. It's priced in. It's the same thing in sports betting. So the way to make money is you want to look for inefficiencies in the market. So I'll actually show you the first bet I have, the highest profit margin bet on OddsJam actually for the sports books I'm using, right? You can filter for the sports books you use. Every location has different sports books, but you can also just filter out sports books if you don't really use them. So I'm currently in Arizona. It defaults to showing me all Arizona sports books, but I filter some of them out. So the first play I have is France versus Argentina, first half total goals under half of a goal, no goals, at plus 150. So why do we like this, right? You can see Caesars all the way down at plus 120. Unibet all the way down at plus 138. DraftKings plus 120. WinBet plus 130. Pinnacle, which is the same as the OddsJam column. You'll notice these odds are always the same. Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker in the world, they have this plus 133. So clearly, FanDuel's giving us way too good of odds to be true, on this first half total goals market. So this is the play we want to lock in. If you don't really care about the math, right? Like the sharp bet on OddsJam is just the play in bold with a circle around it. So here it's France versus Argentina, under half of a goal. And OddsJam will default to just showing you the highest profit margin bets first, right? But again, that's just how OddsJam works. Like it's pretty simple. OddsJam scans the market. There's millions of odds on these sports books. If you think about all the different things that you can bet on. So OddsJam is just trying to make that data actionable for you, right? There's tons of different sports books. They're all posting betting lines. How do you know where the value is? Because again, this market's dynamic. Lines are always moving around. Injuries are happening, sharp actions coming in, weather's changing. All these things affect betting lines, So OddsJam is kind of like a Bloomberg terminal. In the same way, every day trader, every investor uses a Bloomberg terminal, every sharp, profitable bettor is using OddsJam, to line shop to look for value. So anyways, let's get into the next play I have, right? So you can see here, like, you can use this no vig fair odds calculator. This is actually what I believe is the most important calculator on OddsJam because what it does is it takes a sportsbook's, market and removes the juice, right? So for example, if we put in Pinnacle's market, plus 133 on the under, minus 153 on the over, this removes the vig, removes the juice, and says, hey, if there were no vig, if the sportsbook didn't bake in their profit margin or their spread, the true odds or the fair odds would be plus 141. The fair odds on the over would be minus 141. So when the plus number equals the minus number on equal and opposite outcomes, that's a market with no vig, right? So in other words, if you could bet 100 to win 141 bucks on the no goals in the first half, and you could bet 141 bucks to win back 100 on the over, that's a market with no vig, right? There's no spread. There's no juice baked into the market, right? It's kind of like a car dealer's like, hey, they try to buy your car for $10,000 and then they try to sell it for $15,000 because they think it's worth, $12.5K to them. So they buy it for $10,000, they sell it for $15,000. It's the same thing on sportsbooks, but you got to remove that vig to get a sense of, okay, what does the sportsbook think is the true price, the fair odds, the fair betting line, right? And that's called no vig odds or fair odds. So here, the fair line, according to Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, is plus 141 on this first half under, and we're getting plus 150 on FanDuel. So we're getting better odds than the no vig odds, right? We're getting improvement to the no vig odds. So it's essentially like a market consensus, right? With no vig, the market is pricing plus 141 for France, Argentina, the fair line on the under. We're getting better odds, plus 150, so this bet is positive EV. Now, shockingly, but Morocco, Croatia, we're also on the first half under. No book giving us better than plus 200, clear value at plus 215. So I locked in that play as well, actually parlayed them together. 93 bucks at plus 687 odds. And then I also bet a little more on first half under Argentina, France, plus 150, 40 bucks and 30 cents on that, 93 bucks on the parlay at plus 687 odds. And you may be like, well, that's kind of random. Why did you do that? And here's why. That's the max the sportsbooks gave me on my parlay. And then they gave me a little more for some reason on that Argentina, France first half under, maybe because it's the final game. So I added both of these bets to my sheet where I'm tracking profit and loss, currently up 41.4K. Let's make some money.